Complete shock and sadness over the loss of the beloved comedian, TV host, and America's Dad, Bob Saget. Welcome to Entertainment Tonight.
You know, there really has been a collective outpouring of grief and also tons of love for Bob from his co-stars and comedy legends as we learn new details surrounding Bob's passing and a life gone too soon.
I've got to live forever. I've got 3 daughters and a wife and a life. I can't die.
If, God forbid, this kind of thing. God forbid this kind of thing should happen. Do you love me?
We have an unresponsive guest in a room. There's no pulse.
That's the 911 call placed yesterday around 4 p.m. Bob's body was found in his hotel room by security at this Ritz-Carlton in Orlando, Florida. Sheriffs tell ET there were no signs of foul play or drug use. The medical examiner's office performed an autopsy today. Cause of death is being investigated. The 65-year-old passed away doing what he loved, stand-up. This is the last known video of him performing a 2-hour set the night before in Jacksonville. An audience member there tells ET he was very happy and had high energy. He was testing out different jokes and seeing how his comedy resonated with the crowd.
You guys are awesome. Have a great night.
He seemed in great health, and he seemed really happy with the persona that he was creating on stage and the different delivery.
Tim Wilkins was Bob's opening act and revealed to ET Bob was working on an upcoming special.
He was really excited and really was in a perfect spot in his private life, his business life. He was just happy.
I'm really in shock. It's very, very difficult. 65 is not old at all.
The comedy community in mourning, from Margaret Cho to longtime friend Gilbert Gottfried. You spoke with him just a few days ago. What was his mood like?
He was his typical self. You know, always very sarcastic. He was excited to go back on the road. He was looking forward to just traveling and meeting his audience.
When you care about somebody, especially now I'm finding, you got to let them know. You got to reach out.
In our last interview, November 2020, the dad of 3 girls spoke about making sure his family knew they are loved.
It's nice to get that heart emoji back. Sometimes texting is a gift, not a curse.
34-year-old daughter Aubrey shared what appears to be his last text to her. Thank you, love you, showtime. The family tells ET, we are devastated.
Even though he's got a couple years on me, I'm like usually the adult in the relationship, you know.
Bob leaves behind wife of 3 years, Kelly Rizzo. The 42-year-old travel blogger had just posted video of their best moments from 2021. We met her just before their 2018 wedding, and they were already talking like each other.
He's just the most pure heart ever.
And she's very pure of heart, and I can't believe anyone understands me.
The couple actually first met on Instagram in 2015. Bob sent her this DM.
He said, hey, want to come to a show of mine and then go out for some burgers and lobsters? And then I was like, okay, we can be friends. And then I was like, oh no, I kind of like him. And then we got married.
This happened really natural. And her family apparently adores me, and my daughters adore her. This is a wonderful, wonderful time in both of our lives.
As for Bob's Full House family, a gutted John Stamos joined his castmates in paying tribute to their beloved patriarch. Quote, I am broken. I will never have another friend like him.
I keep thinking the pain's gonna go away, but it doesn't. You don't have to go through this alone.
A devastated Lori Loughlin tells ET, quote, I will miss his kind heart and quick wit.
The most genuine heart I've known in my life.
Candace Cameron Bure tweeted, I loved him so much. 35 years wasn't long enough.
Hello.
That sentiment shared by Jodie Sweetin, quote, you were supposed to be here longer. How rude.
How rude.
Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen tell ET they, quote, know that he will continue to guide us as he always has. Dave Coulier simply states, I'll never let go, brother. Love you.
This is the thing that touches me the most. They're friends of mine. They are really friends of mine.
Bob and Dave were actually best friends long before Full House.
Dave Coulier lived in my house when I moved out to LA because he had no place else to stay.
It's a true story. I've known him since I was 18 years old.
Suzanne, you learned about Bob's death in a very unsettling way.
Bob Saget has died at the age of 65. Suzanne, this is a shocking loss.
And I'm hearing it from you. Well, I was on the Today Show in Australia. I was hoping my jaw didn't drop.
Suzanne Somers filmed Step by Step next door to Full House and even appeared in an episode.
Do you mind if I use the phone? My flip phone died. They would call me at lunch. Can you come over and just show up in a scene? And so I would do that.
So then what should we all remember about Bob?
Well, it's a lot more than his good looks. It's there are people who come along once in a lifetime, and he's one of those. He will be very, very missed. I'm really thrilled and honored that I got to know him. I always felt the same way about John Ritter. Gone too soon is all I could say.
It reminded me when I got the news that John Ritter had died, also a friend, also a shock.
Tom Bergeron, who took over hosting duties after Bob on AFV, recalled a poignant act of friendship.
Helping me button my 15 years as host of AFV by showing up for that final episode.
Well, the fun is just beginning, my friend.
What did that mean to you?
It meant the world to me. He's been a really good person. On the 30th anniversary of AFE, there was an anniversary special, and Alfonso and Bob and I showed up. The three of us on that day, you would have thought we were brothers from another mother. And it was great to hang out and share stories.
John Mayer, who performed at Bob's 2018 wedding, honored his friend, saying, quote, "I will never forget you, and I hope I get to see you in my dreams." Fellow comic Pete Davidson revealed Bob was there for him when dealing with mental health struggles. Quote, "He stayed on the phone with my mom for hours trying to help and make sure I was okay." People are really, they're talking about the Bob who supported every comedian out there.
You could tell all the comedians are coming out talking about Bob. Terrible loss.
I was just on his podcast. This was a little less than a week ago.
What do you remember about that conversation?
I just remember Bob's enthusiasm for comedy itself. With Bob, you got everything. You got this incredibly dirty comedy, and then this incredibly wholesome side.
As much as we loved him and Danny Tanner and the host of America's Funniest Videos, the filthiest mouth in the world. Nobody bluer, nobody nastier.
Yes, Bob's image as America's dad was vastly different from his stand-up routines that made him beloved to fellow comedians like George Wallace, who knew Bob for over 40 years.
The guy could out-talk anybody. He was the type guy that you could talk to once every 3 months, okay? You pick up on the same conversation where you left.
There's no way you'll learn it, and I wrote it, and it's offensive. Here it is. Oh, made of leather. And
I'll say something to my friends about it, which is not meant in any harmful way, and then you would not say it on stage. I try to tread a middle ground and hope for the best.
Comedy clubs around the nation paid tribute to him today, including the legendary Comedy Store in LA, where Bob was a regular early in his career.
I was just working here, trying to get jokes, trying to be funny. That's Jim Carrey off to the side. He was sabotaging one of my interviews before, and he tries to do whatever he can. We all know each other. It's like we all did the same thing together. Except Jim tried
He's
to
an all-day comedian.
Jim really tried to hurt me, and
Bob's pals took turns lampooning him at his 2008 Comedy Central roast.
What do you remember about that night?
I remember that was a lot of fun. It was outrageous. I Googled Bob Saget and it came back why? They wanted at the end for the Olsen twins to come out and both give him the they said no to it. He was very protective of the Olsen twins because he knew them since they were babies. He saw himself as their father.
Dying is easy, comedy is hard. Interviews are in the middle.
If you know Bob, you can't help but to laugh. And it's going to happen to all of us. And I guarantee you right now, he said, if you want to do me a favor, you keep laughing.
God bless Entertainment Tonight.